all the position coaches come into that big auditorium, and most of them sit down in a seat, and you kind of just, Chris Kasarik stood up on the side. Brian Griese positioned himself in the back, and a lot of people went to talk to him, and he sort of like kind of cornered himself, and he was like talking behind his shoulder. It was very strange body language, and he was trying to sort of not answer questions because he has explosive. They're explosive questions. He's answering questions about the quarterback competition.
There's implications with every question he's asked.
Yeah, so he's trying to like avoid mines in the minefield, and I don't know how well he did. What did you think of his answers about Brock and what he said about Trey and what he said about Darnold? It seemed like he had very different tones, body language, all of it with each one.
Yeah, I think for Sam, he identifies with Sam's struggle because he struggled as well. I feel like with Brock, he identifies with Brock's skill set because he feels as though that Brock has more to offer athletically than he offers. He was that type of quarterback. And I think he doesn't, I feel like with Trey, Trey represents his lack of knowledge as a quarterback's coach. I think that sometimes as a coach, you are come up with players that expose your knowledge. They make you go back and learn more. They make you say, I'm not as good as I thought I was. Or you can point the finger, you can fold your arms and lean in the corner and answer questions. So there's a couple of things that I've noticed with his comments about Brock is that with Brock, he's very much geared up for Brock to be ready and carry on the work that he's already put out there. And as a first-year quarterback coach, why not? That's on wax. I want to lynch myself to that train. I got 8 years of good quarterback play. I've got 8 games of good quarterback play
and he gets the credit for like help picking him and developing him. Like he can stand there with his chest puffed out and be like, look what I did with Brock. Right. And that's all good. Yeah.
To his credit, a lot of coaching is consulting. You do have to ingratiate yourself with the player on a personal level because they have to go out there and carry out the things that you're asking them to do, and that takes trust. I feel like if you're talking about a coach, you're as a rookie coach, you're going to identify with who identifies with you. Right. And I think that it's very easy for Brian to identify himself with Brock, and there's nothing wrong with that. Right. But
both of their names start with BR. It's very,
right.
It's very close.
So I see that not only does he believe in Brock as a product, but he believes in Brock emotionally.
They have the same name. Brock Purdy, Brian Griese. It's the same name.
Yeah. With Sam, I feel like with Sam, he just identifies with Sam's struggle, with what Sam has done. You can almost see it in his eyes. Like he damn near cried talking about how wrong Sam has been done and what he's been going through and how he's fine. And that just speaks to the arrogance of the organization. We feel like we can fix anybody that comes inside of the building. And Sam is just another guy. And Sam being good is a little bit more than I feel like Sam being good is a little bit more than a reclamation project. Sam being good is almost what they secretly want to do and because they're waiting if and when Brock can't make it. Sam is what they really want to pour into. And with Trey, I thought he was dismissive.
Me too.
I thought that there were a couple of comments, and anybody can go back and watch this interview. But I feel like there were a couple of comments and questions in the way he answered those questions that were quite revealing. So one of the questions was, you had discussions with Trey about one of the questions was, mechanically, he's been working on that with Jeff. Much of a challenge. Hold on. Working on the Jeff for much time.
He was just asked about the mechanical stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so he said that they had discussions with.
I want to get it right, though. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to be right. I want to get it right.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying? So he was asked about he
The Jeff
was asked
Christensen thing.
about Jeff Christensen, his mechanics, and
Yeah.
he basically touched on Trey basically saying, well, you only address it when you have accuracy or soreness issues, and quarterbacks throw how they throw. For me, Trey's mechanics and developing him was task number one on getting him on the field. So quarterbacks throwing how they throw is not something that you want to hear from a first year or a second year quarterback.
But he also said, like, we've had discussions with him about his mechanics since he got here. And he also says quarterbacks throw how they throw. Like, which one is it?
Yeah.
Which one is it? And how come he had to go to Jeff Christensen to work this out? If you've been having discussions with him about his mechanics since he got here.
Yeah. He also came in behind and kind of gave, like, he kind of gave him a doggy biscuit, and he said, but he's put in the work. I'll give him credit. As almost as if, like, from what I saw versus where he is now, he has put in the work. I mean, and that's just yet another coach who is talking about Trey's development, but they seem like they're late to the party. Every last one of them. Nobody's talking in a proactive disposition when they're talking about Trey's mechanics. Every coach inside of the 49ers has talked in a reactive disposition when they're talking about Trey's mechanics, as if cause and effect, as if something happened and now we see it, which means that you weren't in on it from the beginning.
Yeah.
You weren't there.
Yeah.
Okay.
He kept working. I mean, I ran out of ideas, but he found this Jeff Christensen guy. He started working with him. I was surprised. Like, I basically gave up on him, but hey, he's back, and we'll see what happens. Like, there's very little ownership, and that's the problem. That's what I think is so unfair for Trey, is I don't really feel like the quarterback coach is in his corner at all. He was drafted before the quarterback coach got here, and Darnold and Purdy, like, Brian Griese had a hand in both of them being acquired by the Niners, but not Trey.
So there was also another point where he touched on the mechanics, and I feel like he deflected, and how he deflected from the mechanics, because obviously we don't want to talk about work that we can't take credit for. I think the mechanics are overblown because of the injury that he had with his finger. He said he's gotten to the point when he's healthy. A lot of the mechanics stuff is overblown because he had a broken finger. If I had a ball, I'd show you guys how hard it is to hold a ball without your index finger touching the ball. So pause right there. Let's get something straight. Trey Lance's broken index finger couldn't even touch the ball. Right. But here we are looking at every throw. Yeah. All right. Going through all of the mechanics. Okay. Yeah. He also touched on a little bit more. He goes, that's incredibly difficult, and it's incredibly difficult to almost impossible to throw a spiral that way. That goes out to all of my Trey Throws Duck fans out there. Yep. Okay. Yep. The wobbly spiral goes. He goes, I'm happy that he's healthy and that he can actually pronate the ball. Okay. Yeah. Pronate the ball means that you need to literally turn or hold the ball downward. Yeah. He literally could not hold the ball downward. Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right. And throw the ball the way it's meant to be thrown, and that he can actually give himself a chance to compete. Yep. What chance have you given him to compete?
Thank you,
Brian.
Yeah. Yeah.
What chance have you given him to compete? Yeah. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
We're in a partnership, faithful. We pay our money. We give our attention. We give them our eyes. Yep. We gave up 3 first-round picks. You better tell us what happened to our damn quarterback.
Yeah. Thank you. And what's funny is I asked him a question about Brock, and Brian Griese doesn't like me at all. He gives me these really quick, snarky answers. And I said, is Brock better at taking feedback than other young quarterbacks? Is that something that makes him special? And he goes, I don't know. He's the first young quarterback I've ever coached, and leaves it at that. Trey Lance is the first young quarterback you ever coached.
Cherry on top. When asked about Brock and how he takes feedback, Brian Griese goes sheepishly, I don't know. This is the first young quarterback I've ever coached. No, Brian. Trey Lance is the first young quarterback you've ever coached. Mm-hmm. The truth is,
and you were hired to coach. You were hired to coach Trey. That's why you were brought into the organization, not to coach Brock, not to bring in Sam. It was Trey. The whole organization was all in with him last year.
I mean, if you just listen to them, they're letting you know that this kid is radioactive and he's great, but he can get us fired.
Yes.
This kid can get us fired.
Because we don't know what to do with him. We don't know what to do with him, and we raise the expectations. We're not going to play him right away because we want to develop him the right way. We want to have Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. Good job. Mm-hmm.
All right. And as far as fans are concerned, the coaching staff works there. We live here.
Yeah.
Okay? They work there. We live here.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah, you're going to be rooting for this team a lot longer than they're going to be working for it.
Buyouts and roll out.
Yeah, you're going to be rooting for this team a lot longer than they're going to be working for it. I'm going to be covering this team a lot longer than they're going to be working for it. Keep that in mind. So, Brian Griese.
I don't like it. It's like, this is not a quarterback competition. And to call it anything but that is disingenuous, man. What this is you guys are putting a silk hat on a pig. You guys are slapping together all these quarterbacks and making them compete. And because the team is very competitive, it's transferring into the quarterback room. But no, the quarterback room is not on the same level as the rest of this team. The quarterback room needs to be developed.
Also, what they're saying is we don't have to develop Trey Lance anymore because we stumbled upon an elite quarterback. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. No, Brock's a great story. He deserves to be here. He looks like a starting quarterback, but you did not stumble upon an elite quarterback, okay? You stumbled upon a younger, cheaper, maybe more mobile version of Jimmy Garoppolo. That was not what you were looking for.
And if you really want to think about it, for all of the people that want to say that Trey got the number one job, Trey got his audition in last year as the week one starter. Did he? Jimmy was on the roster week one.
Yeah.
Did he really get his audition? Was he really the guy?
Yeah, it's true.
Did Trey Lance get the Spencer Burford treatment like Coach Forrester and get his arm wrapped around him and told him, you don't have anything to worry about. There's nobody.
No one looking over your shoder. No one looking over your shoulder.
The wheels fall off, kid.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the type of dedication we're putting into you. All right. Yep. Did Trey Lance get put on a team that had an all-world defense while they're 6-2, had their starter benched, and then had a coach say, you know what, this kid's from Nevada. I don't care what you say. Yeah. I'm the man. I'm the voice in the room.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hide. I said that I'm gonna make him work. He's gonna work. Not some quarterback competition. This isn't real.